Jan, good Monday, good new month, good June. Mabilisan lang, I just wanted to make kind of a semi-vlog interview because over the weekend it looks like there was a slight misunderstanding about a number of things. But at the same time, of course, we wanted to also highlight itong bagong website no at donation platform na launch ng Angat Buhay. And of course, this is important in light of yung previous discussion natin ukol dito sa kahalagaan no ng alternative platforms for making sure na malakas pa rin yung civil society, grassroots movements, etc. No? So I'll be very, very quick about this, mga kameta, and I felt it's very important to get this clear and this to get this out. Just to clear the air, no. Now, unang-una, I'm glad that our good friends like Rafi Magno, who actually heads the Angat Buhay Foundation, made a very, timely and important clarification the other day, over Sunday, clarification na yan. And alam niyo naman mga kameta, pag Sabbath day, Sunday, I don't engage online as much as possible because it's supposed to be your spiritual day. At least whatever your religion or faith is, at least give one day, away from all of the noise and all of the rat race outside there, no? No, my clarification na as far as the Angat Buhay new website is concerned, this is not something that was just, made up overnight. This was not just something in response to the Maharlika Fund, and that this has been in the works for many months, and this is of course strictly for an NGO private foundation purposes. So let's be absolutely clear about that, mga kameta, because it looks like unfortunately there are a lot of people who have been giving kind of a wrong angle to this. So to be very clear, no, the Maharlika Sovereign Wealth Fund is a sovereign wealth fund. So para sa ating bansa yan, it's a sovereign wealth fund. Now, the Maharlika aspect obviously makes it directly attached to the legacy of the Marcos family. So clearly we can see the political aspect there. So there's no point in making sabong between Angat Buhay and a sovereign wealth fund. They're two very different things. And as I clarified earlier, if my impression na ganito dun sa mga tweets natin or yung mga intervention natin sa social media, let me absolutely make it clear. Now, obviously, we're talking about two very different things. Let me clarify though that, and just to be honest and clear about this, over the weekend, marami tayong mga sinabi ukol sa kahalagaan ng isang good governance fund, no? Not a sovereign wealth fund, a good governance fund. And we had a number of responses online, and one of that came from a good friend of us, Enrico, who's also a professor or teaches at UPLB, an investment bank expert guy. And sabi niya, well, di ba, andyan yung Angat Buhay Foundation, so maybe that is a form of good governance fund. So, it was in that context na we discussed the importance of Angat Buhay as a kind of a civil society grassroots driven dimension to pushing for good governance of Pilipinas on a broader scale. So yun yung context doon. Now, let me be absolutely clear about this, mga kameta, because one of the things I'm noticing out there is the horrible level of toxicity online emanating from certain circles out there. Okay, now obviously sometimes out of 1,000 tweet we make some sort of light-hearted jokes, etc. Sometimes we have a clear emoji there, right, which signals irony, a bit of sarcasm, etc. So it's quite disappointing to see that there's some people out there who are trying to cancel us by trying to portray us as, I mean, first of all, these people either are not witty enough, second, they're not subtle intellectually enough to get things, and third, it looks like a lot of them are haters. No, I exactly know where a lot of these people are coming from. No, so as soon as the Sabbath day was over, we had a chance. Early morning, I responded properly. I clarified. I said that congratulations to Rafi and people at Dangat Buhay. In no sense we were trying to say that this was our idea. There was an emoji there that was a self-irony. Remember yung konteksto ng tarantadong kalbo who kind of tried to make it look as if nag-credit grab tayo. A lot of cheap shots happened over the past few months. And I was patient enough to just take them as sport, right? sport tayo eh, di ba? You dish it in, you dish it out, you get it back, right? Gets ko yan. But my sense right now is this, that there are people out there who are trying to cancel us, mga kameta, precisely because we have exposed the nonsense nature of their understanding of Philippine politics. All right. These are the same people, mga kameta, who are still in this toxic, bitter mode whereby they either want to just blame the voters, they claim monopoly on truth and progressive values. Their argument is, support lang kayo, wag kuda, right? And ito yung mga tao na hindi natuwa dun sa mga katulad natin who exposed the paucity of their understanding of Philippine politics, of the electorate, and the moral and ethical implications of that. No? So, mga kameta, I don't know, and I'll be very honest about this. Okay, I'll be very, very honest about this. I keep on hearing that there are people in the opposition who say, oh, you don't understand. We are the one in the ring taking all the punches. Well, let me be absolutely clear about this. All of us have been taking punches over the past few years or so. For some of you who have bothered to be on my page, 2017, 2018 pa lang, kitang-kita nyo, every day we have been attacked, we have been values. No offense, but, you know, there are many more progressive people out there who didn't make it, you know, to the front of mainstream Philippine politics, right? And then, as I also mentioned, there are people like Riza Ontiveros out there who are far more progressive than a lot of people who are positioning themselves as opposition. And I believe these people are not getting as much support as they deserve, right? And in fact, my article tomorrow for Philippine Daily Inquirer looks at Riza Ontiveros' singular struggle. Now, let me also make it absolutely clear that I completely understand the difficulties that a lot of our friends are facing in the opposition, right? As much as I also understand a lot of frustration that a lot of our friends have with the opposition in the Philippines, right? Now, and this is precisely why, mga kameta, we have had vlogs, articles, a lot of interventions to explain to you the context of democratic struggle sa Thailand, sa Turkey, Russia, many, many other countries around the world. Now, I understand the opposition is having a hard time in the Philippines. I understand they're facing a lot of harassment, etc. But please lang, let's put things into context. Look at the situation that people like Navalny have been facing in Russia, right? Look at what the Thai opposition has had to face. They even won the elections and yet they still cannot form the government because they're being sabotaged by the military and the on-front regime. Look at the situation in Turkey, what they had to deal with. Someone as able as Erdogan, who's 10 times smarter and more wily than Tatay Digong. And yet they were able to come together and fight, you know, against all odds and bring it to 48-52% split, right? So, let me also make it clear na, yes, I understand the difficulties the opposition is facing in this country, but let's not forget, you are in a historic position to fight for a better democracy in the Philippines. And don't forget that your situation is still way, way better than a lot of people in other democracies that we have been discussing, or besieged democracies that we have been discussing. So there's nothing uniquely exceptional about your situation, right? So let's put things into perspective. All right? And that is why constantly, mga kameta, pinag-usapan natin in case ng Thailand, Turkey, Russia, etc. I mean, go and bother to watch what Navalny in Russia has had to face. All right? No one came even close to that. The closest person I can think of is actually someone who's not been given as much attention over the years. I mean, a little bit more right now, but it should be over time. I'm talking about, of course, Senator De Lima, right? So, I don't appreciate the tone coming out sometimes out there, which is, oh, we're here on the front line facing all the mess. Wag kayong kuda, ganito. Like, excuse me, let us put things into context. First of all, hindi lang kayo. Second, a lot of us actually have been fighting under our own name, ourselves, not working for someone else, etc. Ourselves fighting on the front line, right? Pangalawa, you're in the opposition. You're fighting the fight, and if you're fighting a good fight, it is what it is. And your situation is not exceptionally bad compared to what a lot of people are facing in Thailand, in Malaysia, in Turkey, in Russia, so on and so forth. And I'm by the way, talking about besieged democracies or semi-democracies. I'm not even talking about fully authoritarian systems out there, right? Okay. Now, number 3, and this is where I think this is very important. Sorry mga kameta, this is real talk. We have to be very honest about this because I think there's a lot of nonsense out there that we have to call out. Now, over the past year, probably I was among few who dared to call out a lot of nonsense out there. And also call out a lot of these toxic trollish accounts out there who are giving an absolutely bad name to the opposition, right? Who are so toxic that they're turning off a lot of people and pushing a lot of people to political demobilization, right? And at the same time, I also called out this almost obsessive, right, focus on, let's just call it supply side of our democratic crisis, which is disinformation. I always said the problem with that approach is that you're not also looking at why a lot of our voters are turning away from liberal politics in the Philippines. Now, maybe some don't want to do that because they'll realize that a lot of people are turning away from liberal politics because of sa kapalpakan na nangyari in the past and kakulangan nangyari in the past. Or some people are invested in that form of analysis. So we dared enough to call this out, right? Because my sense was that calling out should have come from their own leadership, from leaders of the opposition. In an ideal world, the leaders of the opposition themselves would have called out these toxic accounts and people because they clearly know they're not doing the right thing. They're turning off a lot of people, they're giving a bad name to the movement. And the good thing is, ako, sport ako, right? And the good thing is, I'm not like many others who out there who are so sick and tired of these trolls and toxicity out there that they are turning to the other side. They're turning to the other side. Or they're just switching out. They're just, they're just saying, forget about this. It's a hopeless case, right? So going back again, mga kameta, my point is this. If we make certain comments out there, sometimes they're born out of frustration. Sometimes they're born out of exhaustion, right? And sometimes they're just, us trying to put some humor and sarcasm there, which obviously a lot of people are not appreciating, right? But those who are trying to cancel us by trying to portray us as we're trying to this and that, you are the very people behind why the opposition has not been doing very well, right? And if these people are not called out, these people are not put in the right place, kawawang opposition sa Pilipinas at good luck na lang sa future of democracy in the Philippines. Because my argument is this, whether you agree with the opposition or not, you need kind of a yin-yang situation there to have a stable, optimal democracy. Because if you have just a single party, single coalition rule forever, that is inevitably going to have some deleterious impact on your democracy, right? So, I just hope people appreciate where we're coming from. So, I make jokes here and there. We wear like, I don't know, football stuff. I don't know, sabi nung isang fashion designer na, oh, wag na mga hip-hop. Hindi naman tayo hip-hop eh. Football yan. Iba yan. Ibang culture yan. Hindi yan hip-hop. Now, we do that. But at the end of the day, we're absolutely serious people here. We're not joking around. We're not messing around here. So for some of those people out there who are thinking we're just, I just want to remind you, we're absolutely serious people here. And we have no regrets with calling out a lot of nonsense out there. And also thank you to some good friends of ours who behind the scenes expressed their sincere concerns or they felt that we're being unfair. And as I said, I never mind saying, apologizing if I feel I unnecessarily put anyone in the bind. And in the context of the Angat Buhay case, I'm glad that there was a clarification that this is a private, grassroots, civil society NGO initiative that has been thought out for months. And this is not out there to compete with a sovereign wealth fund, Maharlika named or whatever. So I'm glad those clarifications are out there, and let me reiterate that kind of clarification. I also wanted to also make it clear to people saan galing itong mga interventions natin. Why are we making all of these vlogs? Why are we making all of these articles? Why are we writing all of these things? Why are we explaining all of this? Why do we bother? Right? Why do we? Because mga kameta, right? I have a whole world of, geopolitics out there. In terms of my academic work, in terms of my writing, But the reason why I care about Philippine politics, the reason why we're making these vlogs, the reason why we try to be a little bit silly here and there is because we understand that the struggle for a better democracy in the Philippines is not only dyan sa elections mismo. It's also for the hearts and minds of people, and particularly for a proper discourse about major policy issues affecting our country. So let me be absolutely clear about where I'm coming from. So some people out there who think that they can try to cancel us or try to intimidate us by just, just being, buzz, troll there, you don't know what you're dealing with. Okay? You don't know what you're dealing with. And let me be very clear about a lot of people also out there. No one has a monopoly in terms of resistance. No one has a monopoly in terms of fighting for truth and democracy and all. That's why I always absolutely call out, including EU delegations, etc., visiting the country. Like, don't go there and just visit one media channel or two, because multiple media channels and thousands of journalists fought for better democracy and human rights in the Philippines. Right? Let's be also absolutely clear about those things. But then again, it looks like I'm the only one who's calling things out like that. I mean, like, I don't know if people are just polite or it's just us being Asians, etc. But sometimes I just realize someone has to call out certain things. And we did. And that's why siguro marami hindi natuwa dun sa mga sinabi natin. But good luck if you're trying to cancel us by trying to portray us. You don't know what you're dealing with. Okay? This is a force of nature you guys are talking about. Okay? We are doing our best here based on our conviction that the first and foremost problem we are facing in our country is that yung estado ng public discourse pa lang natin problematic na. Napaka-toxic, napaka-partisan, napaka-polarizing. All right? And that's turning off a lot of people from politics. That's creating a lot of skepticism and cynicism. And you cannot have a democracy where people just show up every 6 years during presidential elections or something like that. You cannot have a real democracy like that. Right? We really need a new approach to things. And I have no regrets whatsoever with pointing out deficiencies in leadership that I saw. I mean, you clearly have seen I've written so many articles on yung mga kakulangan sa gobyerno natin, whether it's Duterte, whether it's Aquino, whether it's Marcos, etc. So I'm very clear about that. But the opposition also has to step up their game. And for some who have already stepped up their game, like Rizal and Tiveros, they definitely deserve more respect and definitely deserve more support. Am I seeing, necessary changes there? Yes and no, right? So, guru tayo eh. So, we come from a place of love. We come from a place of concern. We come from a place of urgency na parang hindi pwedeng business as usual ang approach sa politics. At ayoko yung impression, I'm not saying this is the case, but the impression we're getting from some quarters na parang support lang kayo, wag kuda. Yung ganon style. And please lang, a lot of us have been fighting under our own name, ourselves, fighting this individually and getting all the heat and death threats and attacks and legal harassment, etc. through the years. All right? So let's be very clear about that. Anyway, I also wanted to make this vlog because we had, to be fair also to our good friends, etc., we had to clarify a number of things. So, Maharlika Fund is a sovereign wealth fund. Now we're talking about Angat Buhay. This is something different. It's a private NGO fund, etc. Right? And if you believe in the cause, then there it is. There's a website. There's a donation platform that has been in the works for a lot of months, and it has been launched already over the weekend or so. So please go ahead, check it on your own. Okay. Again, let me absolutely clear. Okay, we make some sarcastic comments here and there, but as a strictly non-partisan educator, journalist, etc., I'm not associated with any NGO, etc., especially political affiliated NGO. And if I put something like emoji as advice, that was ironic, sarcastic. But obviously, there are a lot of people who don't have the subtlety or don't have the goodwill to take things as they are. But anyway, thank you very much, mga kameta. I'll keep it there. I think it's good for people to be reminded what they're dealing with here, right? Okay, siguro akala nila iba na patrol-troll lang tayo dito. No, we're very serious people here, okay? We're very serious people here. And believe me, I always wonder, when are we gonna have our own versions of Navalny, right? Right? I'm wondering when we're gonna have the kind of middle-class, large-scale grassroots movement that we saw in Thailand. I wonder when are we gonna have the kind of united opposition that brought it 48 to 52, almost split down the middle kind of situation in Turkey. And to be absolutely clear, the authoritarian populism problem in those three countries I mentioned is way worse than the Philippines. All right. So if there are folks out there who are trying to give us the impression that they're dealing with exceptional difficult circumstances, well, let's put things into perspective. And speaking of perspective, that's what our job is: comparative political analysis. All right? Okay. Thank you very much, mga kameta. I appreciate that. Okay na. I'll keep it there. I'll keep it there. I think it's good for people to see, our real talk. Right? I think it's very important here and there. Now, by the way, na-update na po natin sa YouTube yung interview natin with our good friend Suzara about fiscal issues in the country, about the Maharlika Fund, the good and bad and ugly as far as good governance initiatives in the Philippines are concerned. Please check it out. It's almost a 2-hour interview. And let me be very clear, all right? You can still see I'm not 100% recovered. I was down. I was really tired and exhausted. And yet I made an effort to make that 2-hour interview. And I'm so thankful to people like Suzara and these advocates who are out there. Why do we do this? We do this precisely because alam natin kulang talaga yung pag-intindi dito sa mga iba't ibang, public policy na napakamahalaga, no? Even I, admittedly there are a lot of issues I really want to learn more about, and that's why I'm so thankful, mga kameta, na nandyan kayo at nandyan yung mga kasama natin, mga kaibigan natin are willing to engage with us in an hour-long, 2-hour-long, 3-hour-long podcasts and discussions. Sometimes I do my moderation better than others, but I hope, guys, you see where all of this energy, this motivation, this conviction is coming from. All right? It comes from somewhere very sincere and all. So for those who are trying to cancel us and make it look as if we're trying to be here just to be relevant. Excuse me, we don't need to be relevant. We already have, we have already millions of engagement a month and all, based on our substantive discussions. Granted, once in a while we troll here and there, but let me tell you what. Put yourself in my shoes. Face trolling for 5-6 years. Face all of the things we have had to face. And tell me if you're not gonna have some sort of dark humor here and there. Right? As a coping mechanism. It's not an excuse for some of the sloppy tweets, sloppy posts we have here and there. At hindi naman tayo blue. Ano yung blue, Twitter blue na pwede mag-edit. But nevertheless, let's be very clear about the baseline here. Everything we do here, mga kameta, everything we do here is because mahal natin yung ating bayan. At instead of judging voters, instead of blaming voters, instead of saying, "Oh, we're so smart, you're not smart enough to realize that," you know what we do? We talk to the smart people who are compassionate, who are capable, and willing to reach out and spread the good message. That's what we do. We don't judge people. We don't judge voters. All right? We don't just say, mga ito, canceled na mga yan. No. Anyone is welcome in our platforms, right? Left, right, center, whatever. Okay, no problem. We talk to everyone. As long as you don't spread hate, you don't spread nonsense here, I'm fine with that, right? We are open. This is an inclusive platform. And I'm absolutely proud, mga kameta, na because of our hard fight over the past 5 years, kawawang trolls dito sa platform natin. And I'm so proud of that because I know that we fought so hard for that. I know that very well. Because I've had many good friends who were discouraged from being engaged in their public pages and all, precisely because of the tremendous amount of trolling and all they faced. I know this very well. I had some very, very intimate and very emotional discussion with some good friends of ours. Some of them are no longer with us. Who were saying, like, the moment they post something, there's all these trolls and all, their page is completely overwhelmed, so it discourages them. It poisons the well. So thanks to their advice, thanks to their advocacy, thanks to their fight, we fought the good fight. So since 2018, tuloy-tuloy ang laban natin dito, including here. Right? So much so that now, we have a lot of friends from different sides. Pro Tatay, pro Junior, pro Leni, pro whatever. They're here, and 98% of the time, at least the conversation is actually quite civilized and decent. At kung may bastos or kawawa kayo dito sa page namin. We'll put you in your right place or kick you out. Right? Because we have no time for that nonsense. We have to get the ball rolling. So this is also a ring. This is also a fight we're doing. Ako individually, siguro my contribution is very limited. Right? Sure. Wala tayong megalomaniac dito. Pretensions dito. Who am I? Right? Sino ba naman ako? Diba? Sino ba naman tayo? Hindi naman tayo celebrity. Hindi naman tayo artista. Hindi naman tayo diba? But I sincerely hope, despite all of our mistakes and shortcomings, what we do here, I hope, inspires a new generation of thought leaders, progressive thinkers, patriots. I hope there'll be 1,000 other versions of what we do, and I'm sure they'll be much better than what I do. Much, much better than what I do. Because when you start something new or semi-new, you're gonna make mistakes. Tao lang tayo. But I hope whatever we do, mga kameta, here, it inspires other people. Because we're showing here, mga kameta, that you can have a reasonable, intelligent, hours-long conversation at kawawa ka kung mag-troll ka sa amin dito. Alright? We'll put you in your right place. So hindi kami paawa effect, hindi kami pa-victim effect. We fight the good fight. But we also do it from a position of compassion. We're not here to judge people or cancel people. And those who are trying to cancel, good luck. Good luck. You have no idea what you're dealing with. Alright? And yeah, I'll call you out. No problem. I'll call you out on Twitter. I'll call you out anywhere. Okay? Because someone should have done that in your own camp for a long time. You can guess who are these people. They didn't. They should have called this out. Although I'm glad to mention that I know that there was some point in election last year where I think one of the Robredo daughters said something to some of the supporters na, X, Y, and Z. But we need more of that. Alright? There are a lot of toxic people out there who are making it very difficult. And unfortunately, their toxicity feeds off on everyone else and provokes some people. And unfortunately, sometimes we also get provoked. And sometimes I feel I have to call these people out. Right? Okay. That's it. It's a wrap. Whew. Ayan na, pwede na tayo matulog mamayang gabi. Alright, balik na ako dun sa mga trabaho natin, etc. God willing, we're trying to arrange a number of other things. Hopefully, we can have Jet Tolentino again, our good friends, our Emmy Award, Tony Award winner, friend again for another studio interview soon kasi medyo may nagkaroon ng problema sa audio noon. So, see? Bibo talaga yun. Ulitin namin. We'll do it even better, hopefully. See? That's what we try to do, mga kameta. So, thank you so much, mga kameta. Maraming salamat. At doon sa mga... Good vibes na tayo. Good vibes na tayo. Let me just say, whoever you support in the last elections, whoever you're gonna support in the next elections, you're welcome here. We're gonna have disagreements. We're gonna have kanchawan. We're gonna have it. But you're welcome here, mga kameta. Alright? We're here to have a conversation. I know we all want the best for our country. We may have different ideas about getting there, but let's talk about it. Let's talk it out. Let's duke it out in a civilized, mature way. That's what we do. And please lang, let's not go into the cancel culture. Let's not go into this judgmental culture. Let's put that aside because it's not helping anyone. It's not helping our democracy. It's not helping us. It's not helping anyone's mental health. Although it helps perhaps with the engagement. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Talk to you soon. God bless. Namaste. Thank you very much.